Hi everyone, this is Tj Simmons with Shield Insurance, walking my dogs Scooby-Doo and Velma again, and I am going to touch on a topic a lot of people ask me about: personal property in a rental property. And what does it mean? What does it cover? Should you have it? What does it usually cost? And what does an insurance professional who is also an investor advise? So let's get right to it. If you hear some walking and coughing, it's my dogs. So personal property on a rental property is everything inside it that is not attached. Not only inside, but everything on the premises that you own that is not attached to the premises. So let's touch that real quick because that's super simple. And what really that specializes in the most is lawn equipment. Lawn equipment to maintain your rental property, and not everyone has that. So keep that in mind. Not everyone has that, so maybe it's not worth the coverage. So that's going to cover the lawnmowers, the snow blowers, the leaf blowers, the shovels, the rakes that you have on the property that you keep for the tenant to maintain the property. So that is one piece of personal property on a rental property. Now let's go inside. Before going inside, let's open up the front door, take the house, flip it over on its side, and everything that you own inside that is not permanently attached, that can fall out of that front door, is your personal property. So that is different for every single investor, because every single investor does everything different. And so for some investors, that could be next to nothing. I know some investors in different areas of towns where it's very common for their appliances to get stolen in rental properties. So they put a fridge in a rental property, they rent it for 4 months, and they get a work order saying they need a new fridge. Well, what happened to the fridge? It got stolen. What do you mean it got stolen? You're living there. So what they do to combat that issue is they put in the lease agreement that you will bring your own appliances. And so that is everything from a washer, a dryer, a stove, a fridge, a microwave, everything that you would have in your own home. They are now going to be required to provide. So for those of you that didn't know you could structure your lease like that, you can. It's not that hard. Let me know if you're interested. I'm not a professional by any means, but I'm happy to give guidance. So that is personal property. Now, for those of you that do provide it, that could cost you anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 to furnish all of those things. And so I use such a big range because everybody has different connections and everybody has different standards. And so, I know an investor who's happy with a washer and dryer set off of Facebook Marketplace, and that's going to cost them $150. And it might be 10 years old, but it has 20 years left. So $150, it's like, do we need insurance on that? So those are the types of thoughts I try to give my clients that I work with. Washer and dryers, they're not that expensive. But then on the flip side, some people like absolutely brand new, warranted, $1,500 to $2,500 sets. So if you're looking at washer dryer, you're looking at dishwasher, you're looking at stove, you're looking at fridge, we're talking $5,000 to $10,000 worth of things that you are furnishing that is not covered under your coverage A on your policy. And so that's going to be covered under coverage C, personal property. And usually, and this is just right now, beginning of 2021 as far as pricing goes, but usually what I see is for every $5,000 of personal property, we are looking at around $40 a year spent on coverage. So when choosing that amount, there's one other variable that I always like to make known, and that is your deductible on the actual policy. Because it's important to remember that your insurance does not come into play until you pay your deductible. So some people could have as small as a $500 deductible, and some people could have as large as a $10,000 deductible. And so before any type of insurance comes into play, you're paying that amount out of pocket. So the reason I bring that up is because if you only make your personal property coverage $2,000 and you have a $5,000 deductible, that coverage is really never going to be usable. And you're paying, you know, $20, $40 a year for something that you're never going to use. So make sure that you have an agent thinking about those things. And if he's not, feel free to bring him up yourself, because as an insurance agent, now not every carrier is like this, but a lot of the carriers that we work with, that's something that you can just add and remove. And so it's not something that has to be included. It's an additional premium that if you don't feel like it's necessary, you can remove it. And so this year I've been having that discussion a lot with a lot more of my clients about, do you feel like that's really necessary, or do you feel like you want to go to Discount Home Improvement and get everything for, you know, fairly cheap, therefore saving. When we're talking about scale with investment owners, we're looking at, you know, 20 houses, $50 a piece. If you can take that expense off, you're looking at a good chunk of money a year saved. So, you know, those are the types of things myself as an investor who loves looking at the numbers and loves looking at the cash flow and loves figuring out where I can maximize everything. I like to explain those things to investors to try to help them get the best out of their money. You know, why are you paying $50 extra a year on that when you know you're never going to use it? And I want to be able to tell you that. And so make sure you're working with someone like that. I mean, that kind of sounded like a plug. I'm not trying to make this about me. I'm just trying to make this about the knowledge, but it's important and it can save you a lot of money. So I think that's about it when it comes to business personal property. When a claim arises, depending on the type of coverage you have, you guys want to go down this trail, see if we can find any deer? When a claim arises, depending on the type of coverage you have is going to depend on the type of payout for the personal property. And so if you listen to my other video about replacement cost value and actual cash value, I can link it below. Depending on how that policy is structured is going to determine how the claim is paid out. And so if you have a replacement cost policy, you're going to get new appliances, brand new appliances, 2021 appliances, for whatever the claim ruined for that you have to get replaced. So, you know, if you have a kitchen fire and now you need a new stove, fridge, dishwasher, microwave, those are all things that are not permanently attached. And so that's going to cost you, you know, $5,000, $8,000 with a replacement cost policy, which is usually a DP3 or a dwelling fire policy 3, form 3. You're going to see brand new 2021 appliances. Now, if you have your policy structured as a actual cash value policy or a DP1, dwelling fire form 1, they're going to depreciate those appliances. So I'll just use the same exact example I used in that video with a 20-year-old kitchen. So in 2001, the kitchen was remodeled and all of the appliances were made new. In 2021, you had a kitchen fire ruining them all. So now the claims adjuster is going to determine, okay, in 2001, you paid $6,000 for all of these, but they've been here for 20 years now. So we're going to value these at a total of $3,000. So you're going to go to the store expecting to pay $8,000 and your policy is only covering $3,000. So that's going to be the basic turnout of a actual cash value claim on personal property. So I think that about covers everything with personal property. I hope this video helps you out. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment them below. I just started doing these, so feel free to make any suggestions on different videos you'd be interested in hearing. I know not everybody wants to sit there and talk to me, so if you want to listen to the topic instead, feel free. So thanks so much for listening and have a wonderful day.